Today, the 18th Brand Global Summit on the topic In Brands We Trust took place. Now, in the evening, we meet again for the Vienna Brand Gala at the City Hall to review the events of the day.
Servus from Vienna, live from United Nations building here in the cooperation between European Brand Institute and the UNIDO. We are really happy to welcome you once more to the Brand Global Summit.
This year's motto is In Brands We Trust. This global discussion platform has become one of the highlights of cooperation between UNIDO and European Brand Institute. The EBI is our long-term partner to promote assets like brands and intellectual property. They are tools to help achieve sustainable industrial development and the 2030 agenda. The past years have been marked by the pandemic and all its consequences. We have seen a gradual shift from conventional growth and crisis mitigation ideas towards more innovative approaches. Today we can review our progress in this direction and map out a way forward towards a more sustainable future. The more we improve the link between economic activity and intellectual property, the better our chances of achieving the Agenda 2030 and our commitment to leave no one behind. Progress is driven by innovation, as UNIDO's new motto is Progress by Innovation. And branding and intellectual property help safeguard this innovation.
Would you be so kind and tell us in a short what's the main topics of the 18th Brand Global Summit were?
Yes, thank you. The 18th Brand Global Summit here in Vienna had the major motto In Brands We Trust. We talked about this main task of brands to create trust. We showed how trust creates relationships and in the end sustainable brands, because we work jointly with UNIDO and it's about sustainability, it's about fulfilling the SDGs and ESGs, so sustainable brands really perform very well.
My inputs to this dialogue will be on how we can achieve and maintain trust in brands. And also, what are the implications for developing countries? And this is also in light of UNIDO experience all over the world. The UNIDO Director General mentioned all the regions where we are actively operating. Brands are often defined as the gut feeling that customers have towards a product. Successful brands, in particular, are those with positive connotations that provoke an immediate feeling of trust. When we talk about brands, there are many examples that come to our mind. In particular, successful brands seem to be found everywhere, and we might have the impression that to have a successful brand, it is sufficient to have a nice logo and an effective marketing campaign. But those like us who are working in this field, they know how far this is from truth.
Since we're all here at this conference today, I think we'll all agree that a smarter tomorrow undoubtedly includes that all businesses need to look at how they are becoming more sustainable. And not just because we all want to be good humans and save our planet, although that should be reason enough, but because there's so many new regulations, government standards, and investor implications for most businesses. And not to mention, consumers are becoming conscious of what the businesses that they're buying from stand for. So for these reasons, sustainability is now widely regarded as the next best big revolution for business since the shift to digital with the pandemic.
Yes, we used to be a largely resource-intensive, environmentally heavy footprint-based industry, but we are now from the bottom up, reworking and re-enhancing all these decisions that we make on a day-to-day basis. And as Indian suppliers at large able to deliver improved, better products. And this, I think, collective value proposition or branding that we're talking about, just in terms of perception of the industry, is extremely important for an industry that has B2B export market type of value chain integration in its current form. And I think there are some lessons to be learned then for similar other industries that are looking for this sort of perspective shift. I think I'll stop there, and I'm happy to answer any questions that the audience might have.
In the second part, we talked about brands and digitalization. Brands need digitalization, but digitalization also needs branding, because in this global internet world, you must differentiate yourself. You must be shown, you must be create awareness so that people should know you. And then you can also, with digital means, create relationships. And this is what we showed, and was a very good contribution. And last but not least, we talk about the value of brands. We are brand valuators. We put the monetary value on brands. And there is important that you can also use brands as a means for financing. And this is very interesting. That was shown in Web 3.0. You can use the brand value to collateralize also with NFTs, with tokens, so we can use also this blockchain-based tools for financing for brands.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Professor Dr. Stefan Anger. I'm very proud to be this year's keynote speaker at the Brand Global Summit. Investment in brands is very important. So we could see that this benefits all stakeholders. Banks basically provide loans, as we know, and they require collateral for that. So why not to consider brands as brand values as collateral? It provides capital and know-how, and it creates value, growth, and prosperity.
Overall, it appears that only a handful of digital assets with a more mature ecosystem and established secondary market liquidity, for example, like Bitcoin or Ethereum, are suitable for ETFs. That said, as digital assets continue to edge towards mainstream finance, the Hong Kong SFC stand ready to facilitate innovation while maintaining resilience. We fully appreciate the potential benefits of allowing digital asset investment products to be offered to retail investors if proper safeguards are in place. We'll ensure that our rules, which are designed for investor protection and orderly and safe markets, also apply in digital environments. With that, we look forward to further engaging the industry to resolve any outstanding issues and expand the scope of eligible digital assets for investment products.
What big brands or the WWF does is important for every company and every brand in order to grow sustainable in the future. The step into the new digital world is inevitable because they are already the customers of the future. Our goal is to bring companies and brands to the digital world and create new revenue streams and sustainable growth. And that's needed now more than before after the pandemic.
So thank you so much, and thanks to everyone. This was really a Brand Global Summit, and I cannot express my deep thankfulness that we made it around the globe within those last hours. And thanks everyone who participated. Thank you very much. Servus und auf Wiedersehen aus Wien.
Very warm welcome here in the Golden Hall of the Vienna City Hall, all your excellencies, ambassadors, representatives from cities and regions, from associations, our speakers and experts at today's forum. It was really wonderful. Welcome all our guests from UNIDO, from Women Leadership Forum, all our board members of European Brand Institute, they're also here, and family and friends.
How can brands serve collateral for financing?
Yeah, brands, they are generating cash flow in the future, and this is the basic to obtain financing.
On your opinion, what makes a brand trustworthy?
It's quality, and it's also ethic guidelines. That makes it trustful in a sustainable way.
What qualities make a brand trustworthy?
Yeah, if you think on consumer, they need trust, and we have to deliver trust, and that means a lot of emotions. And to give them the feeling that they consume a very trustful and worthful brand, which takes care of people and the society, that's about brands towards consumers. And if you think brands towards other audiences and other stakeholders, then it's very important to be very clear and focus on taxonomy rules, on compliance. That means not to tell something which is not true, not to tell something which doesn't make sense regards to footprint, because everything has to be shown up and evidence has to be here.
Sustainable brands are at the pulse of innovation. Why does sustainability pay off?
Sustainability is a concept that we have here since Rio, since 1992. Sustainability, sustainable development is fundamental for a balanced development of all dimensions, people, planet and prosperity. And sustainability in the value chain is fundamental because we need to assure that from the outset of and from all the value chain, across all the value chain, we ensure that economic, social and environmental requirements are met. And brands carry the message. Yeah? Brands can be the passport to indicate that a given product is sustainable. So the power of the brands is that today, where suppliers need to know what they are buying, the brand is giving them the assurance that they are meeting the environmental, social and good governance criteria.
What is the economic contribution of sustainable brands?
I think that the sustainable brand can help to the growth of the economy of a country on a global. Because if you have a trust brand, people can trust in the companies, can trust on the products, and people like to trust on things. That they don't want to have brands that they don't know, and then I think that's why a trust brand can contribute to the development and the sustainable development of economy.
Why is it a pleasure? It's a pleasure for us that you're here, but why is it also a pleasure for you?
It is indeed my pleasure as well as my honor, because to El Salvador represents this kind of events a lot. This time we are presenting our rum, Salvadorian rum, which name is Cihuatán, as well as Salvadorian coffee. These are two brands that we are promoting all over the world, and it is an honor because, as I said, presenting our national products in this kind of events, we think that this is very good to show everybody, not only Austrians, but also from the different countries, because this is a very international community that is now here.
Sustainable brands are at the pulse of innovation. On your opinion, does sustainability pay off?
This is a very difficult question. First, we have to fix what is sustainability. It's such a different kind of opinions if you ask people about sustainability. They all think they mean the same, but it does not. And we have seen it in our discussion with Mrs. Stracker, that there's two ways. You can see it, I do something in sustainability. Whatever she did to make the brand or the company sustainable. But what we do, we try to make it understandable for the population, for the consumers, which are two different things. We see so many brands doing sustainable things, but they are not able to communicate it. They do very often they do something wrong, because they say, I've done this, I've done that. They convey facts. But outside, they don't need facts, they need emotions. They need a good feeling. I buy this product like an electric car because I have a good feeling when I'm driving it. I buy this product because I think this is sustainable.
We have the best water in the world. So if you go back to your hotel, please don't buy the water from the minibar, just drink the tap water. It's much better and really fantastic.
We had really fantastic experts. We had Dr. Fred Koblinger. He showed how they turned around the brand Scherdinger to make it more attractive, to make it more future-oriented, with glass bottles, with claims of children, and really make it more sustainable, but also communicate the message to the consumers. Because on the one side, and this is what we heard from Gabriela Stracker from Heineken Group, she's responsible for CSR there. On the one side, stock-listed and also other companies have to report on CSR, on ESG, either to regulators or to their banks or financing institutions. This is one side. But on the other side, you also have to address the consumer and motivate him to support this sustainable brand model. And this was very interesting, what we saw today and what examples we saw today.
I enjoyed this evening very much. It's a great gala, nice connections, and let's see each other next year.